Dave, your best finish of the year with SS Greenlight Racing, and you guys put together a full race and had a great result. Break it down for us.
Man, it was pretty awesome, but it definitely didn't start out that way, man. Most times when you go to Loudon, New Hampshire, it's they call it the Magic Mile, and they call it Magic Mile for a reason because it's very challenging. And man, our Ford Mustang would not turn in the center of the corner, so we qualified, I think 30th, 31st. Didn't have a very good qualifying run, but qualified. And when the race started, I passed 4 or 5 of them. And man, we just got super tight. And Jason Miller, my crew chief, every time the caution would fly, man, we were making adjustments and nothing really was working. And I don't know, we got about 50 laps to go. We lost a lap, then we got our lap back, and we were just okay. There was a lot of stuff going on in front of me. But man, our Ford Mustang was just wouldn't rotate in the center of the corner. And there at New Hampshire, it's so flat. You got to get your race car to turn good in the center. And they had a red towards the end of the race. And Jason, I was talking to my crew chief, and we finally talked about, he said, dude, you're going to probably hate me, but I'm going to do something because we can't be any worse than what you're dealing with, And I said, well, hey, we got to try something because we're struggling. And man, he made some good adjustments, and it kind of woke our car up, and that thing started rolling the center of the corner really good. I could cut underneath people, started passing people. Next thing you know, man, I passed 5 or 6 of them the last 20 laps, and we ended up finishing 13th. And then I found out a couple hours later, a couple of our competitors that finished in front of us got disqualified, so it moved us up to 11th. And I told my crew chief, I'd rather us pass people and have that good of a car than move up a couple spots because somebody got disqualified, But hey, it was a fun race like it always is, and you're doing everything you can to try to get your car to turn in the center. And it was very challenging. And man, the bottom and the center of the racetrack was really the only really 2 grooves there at Loudon. They usually put down that PJ1 stuff, and you can run the 3rd lane. But my car, when I'd go up into the 3rd lane to try to pass somebody, man, the front end just go numb. It wouldn't turn. But it was a fun race. You had a little bit of all of it in during the race, but man, it was challenging. And Jason Miller, my crew chief, they never gave up. We adjusted on it so much, and finally towards the end of the race got something that we could actually work with, and had a decent finish with some other people's misfortunes. And then us hitting on something at the end, we ended up coming out of Loudon with a halfway decent finish.
Well, and speaking of passing cars on the racetrack, I believe you passed your teammate Joe Graff with about 2 laps to go in the race. I know there's always that race in the race battling your teammates. What was that like to pass him with a couple laps left?
Well, man, there was 3 cars that were 3 cars ahead of me, and they had the track pretty blocked up, and I was trying to get one of them at a time, but people were side by side, and man, they kind of straightened out. I think Joe Graff passed Moffitt and the O2 car, and once everybody got lined out, I was able to pass the 3 cars in front of me, But man, I'm like, dude, y'all got to stop getting side by side because I couldn't do anything with them, And finally, with about 3 or 4 laps to go, I was able to get by 3 of them. And it's just, Strimmy would tell you, just there at Loudon, man, it's a long day when your car won't roll the center. You get in the corner good, and you just got so much wheel into, your car's so tight, got so much wheel into it. And then you don't have no forward bite off the corners, no drive off the corners because you're so tight in the center. But once we got the car to cut in the center to rotate, man, it was like a rocket ship, And man, I had such a good car. I was able to pass those 3 guys, I think, on the last 2 laps. You know what I mean? It was that good. So anyway, it was just good. It was good to finally get close to getting in the top 10, and looking forward to getting to Pocono, Pennsylvania this weekend, racing there.